The makers of Yellowtail are in the process of introducing a new wine into Ontario. It's called Lucky Penny. There's a red and a white. The red is a blend of 3 grapes, and the white is as well. And I'm lucky enough to have with me today John Casella, the President, Chairman, Chief Executive Officer of Yellowtail Wines and Lucky Penny Wines, and also David Joeky, the vineyard manager and winemaker. And I'm going to ask, first of all, as a John, if I can start with you, you have been extremely successful with the wines of Yellowtail. And the last time I spoke with you, you said to me that you believe in doing one thing really well and to focus on that. And now you're introducing a new wine, Lucky Penny. Tell me what the background is and why you're doing that.
I think it's one thing being winemaking rather than just one product, and doing it really well. I think we do Yellowtail really well, but there's scope for doing products that are slightly different. And when you look at Lucky Penny versus Yellowtail, different source of grapes, some different winemaking, and a product that tastes different, but still in the mould of Yellowtail and offering exceptional value for money and simplicity of choice.
Absolutely, and it's a little. Would it be fair to say that it's a little more upscale to Yellowtail?
Yeah, definitely. And that really what determines where it sits price-wise is the fruit supply. Now, we select vineyards. They're all cool area vineyards, along with some warm area, depending on style. And that obviously adds cost, as does winemaking, like barrel aging and so on. Okay,
and Yellowtail you make 12 million cases of. Annually, you sell around the world globally 12 million cases. What's your projection? What's your hope for Lucky Penny?
Look, we'd love Lucky Penny to be 10% of Yellowtail. If we could get to 1 million cases, I'd be very, very happy with that. And there's a limitation with Lucky Penny in that it's selected fruit, so there's not an indefinite supply. It's about optimising the supply according to the demand, but there's a limit to that.
Right, I understand. And with Yellowtail, although there are several different wines, they're predominantly single variety wines. They're varietals.
Yeah.
Whereas these two wines are blends. You've combined 3 grapes in each one to really to come up with something completely new and different. And what brought you to that? Tell me the history behind how you came up with this brand.
Okay, well, if you look at traditionally, the French were very seldom single varietal. There was always a blend of other varieties in there. And if you look at not just the red, the whites as well, there's different characteristics to different varieties. And sometimes the combination of varieties actually gives you a much more pleasing, a better drinking product than the single varietal. And I would say that most Cabernets have some Shiraz in there because we're allowed 15% by law, and I would say most Shirazes have some Cabernet in there, simply because of the tannin structure and the taste profile, where one fills in where the other one falls short, because there is no perfect variety. There are some shortcomings of varieties that other varieties may fill. And if you look at Shiraz being full and fleshy, Cabernet is much tighter, and hence why it ages so well. So if you put some of that fleshy flavour into this tighter, sort of firmer Cabernet, then you end up with a better tasting product. And that's what we've looked at. Varieties that actually complement each other, and not just putting together varieties for the sake of that.
I tasted the wines last night, and I have to say I was really impressed with the red in particular. I was impressed with both, but last night I had the red with a lamb shish kebab dinner, and I was impressed at how each of the grapes did come through with their own personal unique characteristics, but together it was just rounder, fuller, and definitely more complex. So congratulations, David, on that. How did you come up with the blend, David?
Well, one thing we learned from Yellowtail is we have always done a couple of blends, Shiraz Cabernet and Shiraz Grenache particularly, and we saw how well they worked. John gave us a bit of free range, and we actually said, right, we can make this better. I picked the fruit and made blends where, for example, in the red, you do see the Shiraz, the Cabernet, and the Merlot. So you do get the big red berries, the tight, firm palate, but also the soft roundness that Merlot also provides, or can provide. And in the white, you see we have Chardonnay, Pinot Gris, and Viognier. That Viognier is really tricky because it's that real big apricot hit in the background, which really does soften out your mouthfeel. So when we learn a lot from Yellowtails through the multi-regional, multi-varietals, and we had a lot of opportunity to expand and play with that.
Yeah, I like the fact on the white that I had both an appealing sweetness, but not a sickly sweetness, an appealing sweetness, and nice acidity to balance that out. What's the residual sugar on the white?
The white is actually really deceiving. It's actually really a little bit higher than we kind of let people, the palate actually dictates. It's about 10.5 grams. But because it does carry that deep mineral edge, it kind of does bury it over a little bit. You don't see it as well, and it does just give you that real length and persistence later on with the soft palate.
Fabulous. And I believe the wines are $16.95 here in Canada, here in Ontario for the white, and $17.95 for the red, which is about $4 more than the Yellowtail series. Are you looking for a different market with these wines? Or are you looking to take the same market that you have for Yellowtail and move them up a notch?
It'll be a combination of both, that consumers want to trade up for special occasions, but also consumers that aren't buying Yellowtail and are buying at that price segment. It's an opportunity for them to buy wines from our facility.
Okay. Okay. Which is your favorite?
The red.
The red. And what would you eat with it? What do you eat with it normally?
It's surprising what I've learned to eat with red wine. I mean, it's not too difficult. Given that the wines aren't overly tannic or firm, that there's a richness of fruit, it's surprising what products, and things like salmon and that style of red wine for me go well. Okay.
Okay, that's interesting. David, I'm curious about, I know that the white, they're both ready for drinking immediately, but would you consider aging the red at all? And if so, how long? How long could one keep it in one's cellar?
Yeah, no, that's a good question, because we see that a lot. With the red, I wouldn't have any fears at all holding it up to 10 years.
Up to 10 years? Up to 10 years?
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. I thought you were going to say maybe 2 or 3.
Well, we'd like you to consume the white within 3 years.
Well, yeah, and go out and buy another bottle.
Has aging potential.
That's terrific.
Yeah, they're sort of rich, well-made wines from cooler regions where they've got good acidity.
They do.
And in screw cap, they will age and sort of keep the quality level, because when we know there's no bad wine when it ages, it just doesn't taste as good as it should. So it's all about staying as close to the quality level that we sort of set it at in that time frame and improving somewhat. Right.
And how about the white? Would you keep that at all? Or would you, I mean, obviously you'd prefer that I drink it right now and go and get another bottle. But would I age it more than 1 hour in the fridge?
Look, obviously we want you to consume our wines as quick as you can. But no, holding them up to 3 years wouldn't be a problem at all. And
okay.
Again, being under a Stelvin or under a screw cap, it really does preserve that wine's life a little bit longer than a standard cork.
And with the varietal mix in that wine, though, it becomes a much richer wine over time as well. So that's one wine that aged really well because of the Chardonnay and the Viognier component.
I see. That's great. That's fantastic. I really appreciate the time you've taken to speak with me. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing this brand grow, and I wish you all the best with it here in Canada.
No, thank you very much. It's good to catch up with you again.
Cheers. Cheers. I've been speaking with John Casella and David Joeky from Yellowtail Wines. Thank you very much. Bye.